Hi, hello, and welcome to the agenda on Dominion Brokers Group. I am Chike Obogo. On the agenda today, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, is at it again. This time, he is doubting the peace overtures of the suspended governor, Simlai Fubara of Rivers State, and also plotting against the People's Democratic Party zoning its 2027 presidential ticket to the north. Wike, who announced that Fubara visited him to seek reconciliation, is insisting that the PDP cannot give their presidential ticket to the north ahead of the 2027 election. Speaking during a media chat on Monday against the backdrop of his preferred presidential candidate, President Bola Tinubu, the combative politician said PDP cannot give the presidential ticket to the north in 2027. Let's listen to Wike on party ticket this morning.
For Christ's sake, no opposition party, what is sought, acts on impunity. It's only ruling party. Normally, because they are in power, they act on impunity. Opposition does not do that because opposition is going to organize itself to say it can take over the rest of affairs of government. How many times have they made efforts? How many people have you wooed? Rather, every day you after one man. Every day you after Wike. Every day Wike. You abandon what you're supposed to do. Call everybody. This election, we have lost it. How did you lose this election? You are the cause. If we have done that, we wouldn't have lost it. If we have done that, we would have won. You tell yourself the bitter truth. Then you go back to the drawing board. The only crime that Wike is a minister under APC government. And I asked them. I never said I was going to support the presidential candidate. Nigerians had me clear and loud. And I'm the only former governor who did not support the president, but made sure pretty 100% in the governorship, in National Assembly, and State Assembly. Let any sitting governor now or former governor come out to say that happened in his own state. In 2015, some governors came out and said they did anti-party against Jonathan. That they worked against PDP not to become president. What happened? The party didn't do anything. Why? They saw those people as people who cannot be touched.
The way they see you now.
That's not. I came out openly and said injustice must not be allowed. I came out.
Yesterday you were still in their meeting and today.
Did I leave? No. I didn't leave the party now. I don't play like that. They invited me to a meeting, and they invited me. I didn't force myself. They invited me.
But when some of these issues thoroughly discussed at that meeting.
Well, you see, first of all, I believe in sincerity. If you must achieve results, be sincere. Some people think that telling half truth or being too smart will help you. Rather, it destroys you. If PDP does not take care, and I say it again, watch out what will happen. You know, selfish interest can kill an organization. You have not won an election. You're excluding people. You have not won an election. You're excluding, oh no, we don't want this man. You know the man has capacity to fight back. Yes. Now, what is happening? Let's tell ourselves the simple truth now. Why there will be an impression? Let's tell ourselves the simple truth. In 2023, we told the party, look, it is in our constitution, it's in our tradition. When these people take chairman, they will go for chairman. They will go for a presidential candidate. Because of selfish interest, they manipulated the system. They said, no, we shouldn't do zoning now. Hold on, we will do zoning. Before we know, some people are going to buy form. We laughed. It's okay. They don't want to do zoning. Now, a zone took chairman of the party. A zone took the presidential candidate. It's okay. For peace to reign. So we can have a voice. They go front and back. They go front and back. We say this front and back, it will cost you something. Of course, arrogance came in. Forget. We have won the election. Forget we have won the election. Who are they? See where we are. I have no problem. And I've told them that. Where is the presidency? Where is your presidential candidate now?
2027?
Yes. Where will he go? Where will he go?
Well, you answered.
So smart ones who have interest. No, it's not time, as you see. How many times can you play this game and you think you are smart? You are going for national convention. You are going for national convention. You want the South to come and produce the chairman so that we will have the president. I said, why not? Look, Nigeria today says the South is occupying the presidency. Why not as a party come out openly now? Our presidential candidate will also come from the South. Now, you don't want to do that. You want to play the same game. You play the 2023. It will backfire. And when it backfires, it's all these people did this, people did that. It will backfire. And I've told people, this smartness don't help you. Come out now and let everybody know this is where we're heading to. But playing this game, that, oh, we will do this, it will not work. Not tomorrow and I say, oh, Wike is telling you that, look, stop this here smartness.
So you don't see your party coming?
Right, joining me in the studio is Dominion Brokers Group in-house analyst John Izuchukwu. John, good morning, and it's good to have you again on the agenda.
Good morning, Chike. I'm glad to be here this morning.
All right, you just listened to Wike there, and it's all about the zoning of the PDP. Well, the PDP has been in the news for the past 14 days thereabout, and it's still resonating, moving from the defection of the whole structure in Delta State, seemingly, and then now moving now to the saving the life of the party, the last straw of the party in Bauchi, and then you have the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, here also speaking on the zoning pattern of the party. While that clip was going on, what was going through your mind?
Yes, thank you, Chike. I'm a bit surprised that our polity has gone down this very low. And because it seems as if, you know, the adage that says old age comes with a lot of wisdom, you know, is becoming something we need to look at again.
Okay.
Because when you see...
It has to be edited.
Very matured minds, successful people in the Nigerian balance, having squabbles, and they're not able to reconcile. They're not able to come up with negotiation that will, in a way, balance up the equation of things. And then you're asking yourself, are these really leaders? Because a leader, one of the very strong attributes of a leader is the capacity to solve problems. So the PDP is having a major challenge. And the PDP lacks people or persons who can rally around the PDP to resolve this challenge. It gives me a lot of concern, because these are the people who are supposedly the managers of Nigeria. So, in looking at what Mr. Wike has said, then you ask yourself, where are we headed to from this point? It looks as if the PDP is not going to survive, because when you look at his comments, for instance, is PDP going to zone the presidential ticket to the north? If they do, it means apparently the Southerners may not vote for them. And it will mean again that the PDP has all jettisoned its own internal arrangement, which was the crux of the whole issue from 2023 elections. So you look at it and you ask yourself, where is the sincerity of purpose, among the leaders, the party leaders? But again, Mr. Wike oftentimes speaks as if he's the alpha and omega of everything in PDP. And it gives you concern. Is there no constitution in PDP? Do the PDP not have a way things have been done before now? So it's a lot of issues. But also look at his comment on Fubara. For me, it's about democracy. It's not about Fubara. It's about, if we allow this to slide, it means that someone else will do it tomorrow. It means that precedence has been set, and it may repeat itself in no distance time. So these are the issues that we need to look at. I'm worried a bit because PDP is not really losing it. Nigerians are also wearied of this PDP back and forth. And when you look at the man who has been appointed to help unify PDP, bring PDP together, Saraki, then you're asking yourself, how many persons are going to really accept this person? Because the Wike faction now, it's a bit difficult for me to wrap my brain around how they are going to be able to get him involved. Because at the end of the day, in negotiation, you have to get all the parties involved.
Where is the room for conflict resolution here?
That's what we're saying. And over time, I had believed personally that PDP has some internal conflict management mechanism that worked over the years. But again, this is also the dynamics we see in Nigeria political landscape. So you're asking yourself now, will Saraki be able to bring the Wike people to the table? And let's look at the terms that the two factions or more factions that are in the PDP are bringing, and let's resolve and get to a middle ground so that the PDP as a party can forge ahead. Again, Nigerians are not too bothered about the PDP, as it were. We are bothered about what's good for our democracy. We are bothered about having a strong opposition that can provide an alternative candidacy for the Nigerian people. Because at the end of the day, Chike, as I've always said, we Nigerians are the one who suffers it. If all of this back and forth going on in the polity, keep going on, the political elite do not know, they don't care if a bag of rice is 80,000 naira or 70,000 naira at the market. It's the man who is walking on the street, the ordinary Nigerians who knows the impact of these things to themselves on the economy. So, going forward, what should we be looking at as Nigerians? For me, I think that going forward, it should not just be about political parties, because the major political parties are beginning to fail, and we need to begin to look at the candidates, individuals who can help rescue Nigeria. So
how will all these political imbroglio help the common man on the street in Nigeria? Because it is seeming that Nigerians are really tired of this back and forth of all these political parties.
When you listen to the average Nigerian, they are not interested in these political squabbles. What the average person is concerned is, how do I get a job?
I want chop.
How do I get food on my table?
Yeah.
It's not just a syndrome, Chike, because we are citizens.
It has been turned to a syndrome.
If we are citizens, we should be taken care of by the state.
Yeah, but it has been turned to a syndrome by the political class.
Yeah, I agree with you.
When you look at it during elections, vote and prepare soup.
Well, that's an issue on its own.
Stomach infrastructure is
I'm
now
saying, just imagine that this whole thing is not affecting the economy. It's not affecting power. I know young men who are welders. Because they have no money to buy generator, or even those who have, generators can't even buy diesel to run these machines. Now some of them are resorted to riding Okada or Mikra. So at the end of the day, you ask yourself, all of these squabbles, it is the ordinary Nigerians who still get the backlash at the end of the day, because this will continue. Governance will post. And then, at the end of the day, the people who ordinarily the power belongs to, sovereignty belongs to, that should be the one enjoying the dividends of democracy, are denied with all of these shenanigans. Because sometimes, for me, it appears as if it's a distraction, to get all distracted from the real issue. Because that's what Mr. Wike is perpetually doing now. We are supposed to be demanding accountability from this government. We're supposed to be asking this government, the jobs you say you are going to create, where are the jobs? We're supposed to be debating on what exactly is the state of Nigeria's economy vis-a-vis the mind-bending reports by the Bretton Woods institutions. Because you look at critical issues, we should be asking questions on security. What's the government doing? We should be asking questions on infrastructures, on education. We should be holding government accountable. We should be talking about more robust and strong civil society space. Today, it is either PDP or Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Akpabio, or one other stories, or Wike, and distracting Nigerians from the real issues that concerns us.
Well, let's move on here. And still talking about the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, who has also unguardedly revealed details of the conversation when, his successor in office, Simlai Fubara, came for reconciliation with him, saying the suspended governor visited him to plead for peace alongside two governors from the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Wike further claimed that he told the embattled governor that he, Fubara, does not have the capacity to make peace, pointing out that the governor cannot be making moves for peace while his supporters are doing otherwise. Let's get listen to Nyesom Wike on Fubara this morning.
I called for peace severally. No peace. I'm calling. I said the president has called for peace severally. And I cannot sit down. And one president has called for peace. He said, don't want peace. Yes, he came. He came with two governors and one other person. Unfortunately, the two governors are APC governors, unfortunately. So I will not pursue him. And he said, he wants peace. Fine. I want peace. Right?
Have you forgiven him?
You see, that's the problem you will have. A man came. There are steps. You see, I don't understand how a man came. You would think that this thing is just mega. Just came to have, I want peace. Then you go, and peace has come. What that means that there's an open door, an open window for you. Take the necessary steps to show really you want it. Indeed, this is a self-inflicted injury. Doesn't need it. When this thing started, I called him. Sheyi Makinde was there. Oton was there. Ibazu was there. When he was there, and we were scouting, we started that, look, this thing is not good for you. God has given you this thing. Why not humbly and don't allow people to push you? They are telling you to act, you're a governor. We know. Nobody is taking it away. You're a governor. But also mind you, that people labored day and night. And all I have said, don't abandon people who have labored, who have toiled day and night. They say, oh, we can trying to control, demand money, this and that, this and that. I'm sure all of you will have that opinion. There's nothing, they have a television called Arise, who just, without even facts, they are noted for it. They push him and push him. Governors can push him. Where are they now? I think those governors are enjoying their own. You see that? You don't need to have into that kind of problem. This is a young man. I said, look, go this way, go this way. You will not have problem. People came, don't marry him, they don't marry him. Assert yourself as governor. You are started now. Trouble has come. Trouble has come. People push you. Look, they declare state of emergency. Who wears the shoe? Those who are the PTC. Who will suffer? Okay, assuming now you don't settle this problem, and the state of emergency is called off, has the problem ended? Has it ended? No. One, assembly will still be fed as they have been. So the council will still be there. They will not pass their budget. You won't get money for the federal allocation.
So when it came for the meeting, did you give him a time for peace?
I cannot. You came with people for the first time.
Yeah, did you agree on follow-up?
I will not say follow-up now. Why do you talk like that? You came and said it's good. Now, what does it mean? Having done that, you take the necessary steps. That's what you've done.
Welcome back from that short clip there. Well, before we go on, Wike playing God, right? And then he made so many assertions. Fubara not that when it comes to peace, that peace doesn't just come like that. It's not served a la carte. Mm-hmm. You know, saying there's a process for peace. Where I know the Holy Book say, "Forgive us our sins the way we forgive those who sin against us." That should be in the book of Matthew. Now, if you were the one, what would you advise Wike to do at the moment?
Well, you see, that's difficult because I'm not a politician. Because it's not as easy as, it's said.
When as a student of a conflict resolution.
And conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Now, you see, we need to know what is Wike's interest. Because conflict arises when interests are not aligning.
Or are you trying to say that we still need to dig deep into the source of this problem?
You see,
because nobody has come out to say this is the source.
Let me tell you. You see,
there are speculations.
In analyzing conflict, there are models using in analyzing. For instance, there is the tree model. What you are seeing as leaves are just symptoms. When you get to the trunk, to the root, you now find the root causes and the proximate causes.
So Nigerians are only seeing the leaves.
Let's look at the root cause.
Okay, so
what exactly is the root causes of this conflict? And the two of them have been speaking in parable. They've not been able to say, this is exactly what my predecessor was demanding from me. Wike has never been able to tell us in public, this is exactly what I want from Fubara. But they know what the two of them know what the issues are. So when he says he should go and take certain steps, Fubara knows those steps and it's political. Now, and what it will mean for Fubara to be resisting, it will mean that Wike, you see, in analyzing powers of stakeholders, there are people with higher powers and they have more influence and more interest. Now, Wike have more power, he has more influence, and his interest is high. So you will now discover that what is bringing to the table is more. And Fubara is saying, this is not fair. I'm with the governor. This is not fair. Now, it is now the sincerity of Wike and Fubara to present this thing, and let's be factual about it, will resolve the conflict. Because that's the only point where you can have a middle ground.
So
as long as one person wants it.
This whole of is just
what you're saying is that
on the periphery.
The real issues are beneath. And so it is on when we unearth it, when we unearth those issues, and then be able to see what they are barely, and then we can tell you, okay, let's have a middle ground. Because in all negotiation, there must be a middle ground. You cannot want to have everything. It's not proper. It's not. Peace will not be available as long as the two parties want to have everything they bring to the table. And so, but the question we should ask ourselves is, if we allow this thing to go on, what will be the fate of other states in the near future? What will be the state of our democracy? You see, we are trying to create a crack that it will be difficult to resolve. And again, it makes us question the democratic nature of Mr. President, who all along has claimed to be a Democrat. Because if this is happening, yes, he had called for peace. But it clearly shows, his actions and body language clearly shows that he is in alignment with what Wike is doing. Because what Wike is trying to entrench is a godfatherism syndrome that he fought in Rivers State himself. He took the structure from Amechi. It dismantled everything orderly built. He made a mess of those who were before him. And today, he has hijacked the entire structure of PDP in Rivers State. Now, he's fighting it because he does not want someone else to do the same to him. The same thing Asiwaju has done in Lagos till tomorrow. It's more like a political dynasty for him in Lagos. And that's what he wants to entrench in Rivers State. And now, because of the kind of person Fubara is not able to fight him headlong. And today, we're having this issue. But the question is, what is the lacuna this is going to create for our constitution, for our democracy, and for the observers locally and internationally? How would they perceive us? So we should look at because all of these have its role, in determining our economy, determining, how people perceive us, how people perceive our government, even Nigerians abroad. When you leave this country elsewhere, how do they see you? So you want to rule in proxy. You want to be in power in proxy. It's not right.
Well, former presidents and heads of states in Nigeria have called for a peace talk and saying the emergency rule in Rivers State should be rescinded at the moment, and then democracy should be returned.
Well, you see, if you know Mr. President too well, he doesn't listen to advice. That's his month is going to be, it will be completed before Fubara will be rescinded. You should see, if you look at the body language of Mr. Tinubu, he will not heed to that advice. And I can tell you again and again, from Lagos, when he was governor, till when he took over the Southwest, the APC leadership, and ACN to APC, he is not somebody who backs down on whatever he wants to do. He has done it, and he wants to get it to the very end, to send a signal. And it's a wrong signal politically to any opposition. So, for me, it is how we are going to manage subsequent issues. Because more and more, governors now who are going for their second tenure will now be looking for how to repeat what Wike has done. Leave your party, align with the party at the center, and then victimize your successor.
So we're going to have a flock of godfathers in Nigerian political space.
And with the endorsement of anybody at the presidency, it will become chaotic.
All right. Meanwhile, a member of the Rivers State Elders and Leaders Council and pioneer spokesman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Chief Anabs Sarah Igbe, has described Governor Siminalayi Fubara's recent visit to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, as a sacrifice made in the interest of peace in Rivers State. Speaking in reaction to the meeting, Sarah Igbe said the suspended governor had consistently shown a desire for peace, contrary to what he described as Wike's combative stance. Well, Wike is combative at this time.
He wants everything, and it doesn't happen in a negotiation. You can't come with it.
You win some, you lose some.
With 10 demands and want 9 out of the 10 demands.
So you win some,
you
lose
need
some.
to at least concede. That's what negotiation is. Concede, accept that, okay, I can't have everything. Okay. Let's make it 50-50.
So you see, when you talk about conceding, the question here is, what is the negotiation? You know, you've also said, treating this, we have to look at the root cause. What is the negotiation? What is the root cause of this matter? Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. We don't know the root cause, but whatever it is, peace must reign. Fubara, Wike, River State, South, and Nigeria as a whole, there will be peace. We'll go on this break. We'll be back in a bit. Stick around. Don't go away.
I had no doubt in my mind that with this collection, we are going to set agenda. More importantly, we are going to enforce social ethics. Because part of the problem of Nigeria is that the state is too powerful and the society is too weak. So when the state begins to misbehave, the weak society has no power to hold them into control. So we begin to do social ethicizing. So we not only report, we will not only inform, we will also set agenda.
And that's the agenda we are setting here. Welcome back from that break. For decades, Africa has relied on aid from donors in different parts of the world just to implement plans in health, education, and other key areas of human development. Until 2022 and 2023, when Russia's invasion of Ukraine ballooned aid from the United States to the region, Sub-Saharan Africa received more U.S. aid money than any other region for United Nations and OECD data. But since President Trump announced the decision to dismantle the U.S. Agency for International Development, that's the USAID, there has been a massive decline in aid intervention coming into Sub-Saharan Africa, with attendant impact on efforts to pull people out of poverty and combat terrorism across the region. Last month, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development reported that global aid flows fell sharply in 2024, marking the first decline in official development assistance from major donor countries in half a decade. Looking at the downturn, it was attributed to a change in donor priorities following a sharp decline in funds earmarked for Ukraine, a significant drop in revenue or refugee-related costs within donor countries and reduce human and humanitarian spending. According to the IMF, the regional outlook for sub-Saharan Africa released at the 2025 spring meetings, global official development assistance flows have increased over the past decade, but flows to sub-Saharan Africa have remained flat. The report said official development assistance to all destinations reached $246 billion in 2023, representing an increase of 64% over a period of 10 years. But much of that increase reflects a recent sizable pickup in transfers to Ukraine. Looking at the IMF and the aid brought to Africa, I'll be asking you this morning, Johnny Izuchukwu, can intra-African trade turn the tide of the IMF flat intervention for sub-Saharan Africa?
Yeah, you see, you ask yourself, if you have a 10-year-old boy who you still wear diaper for, is that child healthy? That child obviously is not healthy. So you see an African continent who had depended on aids from other countries, and the conditions that are given in order for you to access these aids continue to impoverish you, continue to make you lazy. And you see, you know, when you look at why is Africa always wanting aids? Why do they give us aids and then come to exploit our mineral resources and take it out of the country? Why do they give us aid and ensure that we do not have our own refineries in our countries? Why do they give us aid when South Africa, you know, produce a car? I think the US or Germany decided not to give them a license to start, you know, selling the product. One of whether US or Germany. Now, why is it so? Also, the West has looked at Africa as a continent that will perpetually depend on them. And because they know, as we speak today, the hope of the world is in Africa. The minerals, the oil, the everything that is the manpower, the human capital to, you know, labor, even in their own spaces, all in Africa. And so it is not, the time has come when Africans need to wake up and address their own challenge. So why should we allow the West to continue to hinder, you know, Africans from having an arrangement that can help their own economy? You know, when you look at even why the former president of Libya died, why he was killed, was taken out of the way, it was because he was seen as one figure who was attempting to bring that Africa together. So we cannot have a common currency, a common, you know, economic framework,
yeah, exactly,
that would, you know, create that atmosphere for all African countries to, you know, to flourish. Does he have an ulterior motive? Does he have, you know, will he be doing that without taking a recourse to how it will benefit his own country better than other countries? It should be there. But we are saying that Africa will be better off if we create our own framework, our economic framework, and then see how it works for us. Today, some of these aids, Chike, in fact, there have been research that has shown that some of the aids coming into Nigeria is what is fueling the insecurity in the Northeast.
Well, talking about Nigeria now, the Punch newspaper of today, especially the business side, says, and the headline, 54.9 trillion naira budget, federal government, World Bank at odds over funding strategy. And it says the World Bank has described Nigeria's 2025 federal budget as overtly ambitious, warning that the federal government may be forced to turn to the Central Bank of Nigeria's Ways and Means facility to finance likely revenue shortfalls. Well, what made me bring up this headline is, why is the IMF interference the budget of the Nigerian state?
Well, see, Chike, I think that Mr. President's legitimacy is gotten from the Bretton Woods institutions. He's doing everything to appease them, to make them, to get their buy-in into his government. But it's unfortunate that they are misleading him, because you can't, I don't need to be too many deep econometrics to understand that the cost of things in the market is not what exactly they are giving as reports. I don't need to break my...
The reality on ground is different from what's on paper.
You are obviously using fictitious data to analyze whatever you bring out, to tell us to bring that report out. It's obvious that that data is not correct. You can't be... Because what have you done in balancing the naira to dollar rate?
Okay,
so there are several indices to look at.
Is it the IMF's fault? Now, in Africa, is it that African leaders are bereft of ideas, of innovation, that many of them seem not to even want to think on how to, you know, get Africa out of the doldrums of that dark continent syndrome?
Chike, is not so. There are many smart people in Africa. As I speak to you today in Nigeria, one of the young men just invented one very nice, I'm trying to remember now. He just invented something recently that is a huge innovation.
Okay.
Again, now, there are several inventors in Nigeria. I'm not even talking of other countries. Go to Kenya, go to South Africa.
You seem not to get...
I'm getting you. There are smart people in Africa.
Yeah, so I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about
leaders.
The leadership.
Chike, I've said this again and again. These guys really not in Nigeria are smart people. If you look at how they think, it's just that they think, you know, invertedly. They know what to do, but they don't want to do it. It's not as if African leaders can't take action. They don't know what to do. It's that, in a sense, the West had captured the audacity for which we should do something. We should take that decisive action. So you have always to go back to them.
That is why
to get approval.
And that's why I'm asking, does it seem that African leaders are intellectually lazy?
Maybe that's correct, because I've also witnessed where we send people out for this bilateral, you know, agreement and engagement, and Nigerians most time, or Africans, just go to those meetings and then watch what is being said, and they just approve. Meanwhile, our counterpart from the Asians, from Middle East, we sit down and critically look at what is being said, and, you know, put forward advanced, you know, positions that will better their own country. But for us, whatever the West says is okay, and we just accept it, Uklan and Singa.
And then we want to hold on to power for years. Look at what is happening in Cameroon. We have Paul Biya being president for about 40 years or more, if I'm not mistaken. And we have also in Benin Republic, we have many countries where you have presidents wanting to sit onto power without even intellectually emancipating their countries.
Most of the time, the West is behind all of those things. The moment a small group decides to, you know, revolt against what is happening, then you now see them sponsoring arms against them. So, but well, you know, what we should be looking at is Africans need to wake up to solve their own problems by themselves. We cannot continue to cry and hope that something is going to change one day. See, the West will not expect us to get better.
Do African leaders have the capacity to change the narrative, or change the status quo?
I think we do. If you look at what the guy Paul Kagame started in Rwanda, and what is happening now in places like Tanzania, in places like Senegal, and obviously Burkina Faso and a few other countries, and even South Africa. So we're hoping that one day we'll have that, you know, younger people who can look to the West and challenge them. Tell them to take off their hands from our resources, from our countries. Let's even build our own countries the way we want to build it. Let's now have strategic partnership. It's not you, putting everything on us, exploiting us. And then when we want to make any move, then you stir up our people, give them money, and give them arms to start fighting us.
Akinwumi Adesina, the African Development Bank Group President, has urged that Africa must wean itself from aid dependency and urgently chart its future through self-reliance, strategic partnerships, and leveraging its vast natural resources. Like I said, maybe it seems most African leaders are intellectually lazy. John Izuchukwu, before we leave, how do we get out of financial slavery, dependency slavery as Africans? Do you concur with Akinwumi Adesina? Very true.
We are so blessed. There's a state in Nigeria today that has over 34 mineral resources on earth, down the earth. Just one state. Do you know that we have not even started tapping gold in Nigeria, as so government taking advantage of the gold in Nigeria? It's even individuals who are mining the golds. Not just gold, uranium. Several other things are on ground. So we are too blessed as a people, and the West knows it. They know that Africans are too blessed. So we should, as Africans, come together, chart a path for our future. We have all it takes to make Africa the destination of all the world, just as we are going to Dubai, going to UAE, going to other countries. Do we have what it takes to make Africa that place? And if we are sincere, it won't take us ages to get done. It just takes us a few years and we'll get it done. So what we need is strong leadership, transparent leadership. And as a matter of fact, we need to also look at how we can reconstruct our own democracy to be able to meet our needs. Because this Western philosophy of democracy seems as if it's not serving our purpose. We need to look at what it will cost, what it will take us in order for us to provide quality leadership that will emancipate our country, emancipate our continent, and preach us. Why should we remain third world? Why? We have intellectuals. We have people who are not educated all over Africa. We have the human capital. We have the resources. So we have everything to make us great. It's just that we need leadership to help us achieve it.
We need leadership to make us, or to help us achieve this. Let's keep the conversation going. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. It's at Dominion Broadcast, at Dominion Broadcast. And on the app X, it's at Dominion Cast. Thank you for joining this conversation this morning, John Izuchukwu.
It's my pleasure, Chike.
And thank you, listener and viewer, for joining this conversation. My name is Chike Ubogu. Do have a great day. Stay safe and stay out of trouble. Bye for now.